What a difference a year makes. With all the global uncertainty, disruptions in the supply chain, volatility in markets, rising inflation and interest rates, a lot of people are wondering, how is it going to affect the VC market? For this discussion, we have a great panel that's going to give their insights. Anthony, let's start with you. One of the shifts that's been fed by the pandemic, amongst many others, is that the investment landscape has become increasingly geographically diverse this year. Can you talk about what you're seeing in terms of investment trends?
I think there's a really good opportunity right now, Jules, with the whole valuation reset that's underway. It's really creating an environment that a lot of people haven't seen before. A lot of the younger founders in the VC world have been exposed to a 10, 20-year effectively bull run. And so now that we're facing real headwinds, great companies are going to emerge to the top, great founders are going to emerge to the top, and there's going to be some incredible investment opportunities at much more rational valuations.
Anuj, you want to chime in?
I completely agree with what Anthony said. I think it's just going to go back to safer zones that are known to us, geographic regions, sectors, and it's a good opportunity to see the cream of the crop.
Not only are we seeing geographic diversity in investment, but a diversity in sectors as well. So Mark, what areas do you think investors will lean into for the next 12 to 18 months?
I think over the last, let's call it 5 to 10 years, that what we've really seen is growth within both healthcare and software. Those have really been the two industries that I think have enjoyed the most innovation, and we've become a lot more pervasive, particularly with software in all industries. So my expectation is that we're going to continue to see more of the same. We're at a really interesting intersection right now where there's a lot of innovation that's happening within healthcare, and I think we're going to see a lot of step changes that occur over the next decade. And automation is a theme that we need to get behind because we're entering into a world with a demographic challenge with relatively fewer workers. We need to do more with less. And one of the best ways that we can do that is with software and more automation.
We're seeing a lot of changes in the political and economic climate. Do you foresee it making it difficult to predict how the VC market's going to go?
I think it's going to take a little while for what happened in 2021 with a lot of capital raising going on to work itself through the system. I think the supply of capital is going to be reduced, and I think we're already experiencing that. We feel it in the growth space where the mutual funds that were in the market are out of the market. The hedge funds that were in the market are now out of the market, and that takes out a lot of capital. I believe that the theme over the next, call it 18 months or so, will be one of consolidation among the earlier stage community, where we're going to see some really great companies get built that is going to be an assemblage of all of the talent that has gone into, I think, probably just too many companies.
Anthony?
I mean, I think, look, when we look back after the dot-com bust in 2000, things like Amazon rose to the top and consolidated all the defunct e-commerce players because Jeff Bezos was the last entrepreneur standing with enough capital to consolidate. And so you look at the evolution of Amazon, I mean, that company was built not from 2005 till today, but 2000 to 2005, where so much consolidation happened. So I agree with Mark completely that there's going to be a whole great opportunity for entrepreneurs that have risen to the top, that have enough capital to consolidate the weaker players in their marketplace and end up on their way to an IPO when the market does come back.
And here's what are you seeing?
Yeah, I mean, just the one thing on the VC funding side, I wouldn't want to be raising funds at this point in time. It's just a tough period to do that, exactly what Mark said. But for guys like Anthony and Mark, seasoned investors, this is the right time. If you got the capital, this is when you go in and you help these companies out, get with them on that trajectory and allow them to scale, because they're going to have a tough time finding capital in the market. And seasoned guys with dry powder, there's no better time than now.
Yeah, along those lines. So one of the things that's kept this market so big for so long is all the dry capital out there. Are you hearing anecdotally from LPs that they're reallocating, which may pull back some of that money that you guys are playing with?
Well, I mean, I don't know what, Mark, what you think, but there's been a disruption where hedge funds have come in, and you look at organizations like Tiger Global, right? It fueled so much really disruption of the traditional VC model and fueled valuations piling on top of their own investments. And so hopefully all that will shake out and some rational behavior in the VC market will return when guys like that have to just really take the write-downs that they probably have already had to take, and everyone's forced to behave more rationally. I don't know what you think.
I think that's right. I mean, look, we were involved in many processes last year where we were getting beat by 40 to 50% on price. And I think we've got, I've been investing growth capital for 20 years. I think we've got a good understanding of what intrinsic value is. And there were just some very disruptive players. Tiger's a great example. There were a handful of others that just came in and bid assets up to prices that are going to create a lot of complexity over the course of the next 2 years.
And the SPAC bubble too.
Right.
That was also just a an anomaly.
We
That's
call
a
that
great
the
point.
Full Employment Act for accountants and lawyers.
I think, you know what, we're in an absolute golden period right now where we're going to see great companies. We're going to see companies with capital consolidating, scaling. We're going to see seasoned investors come out and spot the right assets. I think it's an interesting space. Listen, my home country, India, went through this phase where there were crazy valuations and write-offs and all of that kind of is settling down. And we want to see that now in the Northern American environment where it's just a golden period for investments and seeing the right companies come out.